something that has always fascinated me when it comes to the interactions, especially in terms of relationships between men and women, is how each sex in their own unique way establishes relational territory, meaning how they let outsiders especially know that the person that they're with or the person who's their significant other is co-joined with them in some kind of agreed upon, well-established relationship. And I've always been fascinated by that because what gets me the most actually is the fact that so many men and women don't understand these signals in each other and how they work and why they're used. For example, ladies, when a man really is about you, you know, and I've said this before, that if he wants you in his world, he's going to go about letting the whole world know it. Men, especially in this age of social media, are very fast when it comes to a woman that they really dig on plastering her all over his social media. So everybody in his friends list can see it. And so other people, whoever may come across his page, can see, hey, he's with this beautiful, special girl. Why do we do that as guys? I'm going to tell you, ladies, there are two basic reasons why we do that. Number one, because on whatever level, we're very serious about being with you. If we're not serious about being with you, the chances of us splashing all over social media and putting everything out there and running the risk of some other woman or other women that we may be interested in seeing you on there, which to those women will signal that, hey, this is his girlfriend or this is going to be his future wife, whatever, and they'll avoid him. If that's really what he's trying to stay away from, he's not going to put you out there like that. He's not going to publicize you. But when he is serious about you, a lot of guys, as a reaction to their being in a relationship with somebody that they actually want to spend time with and stay with, that's one of the things that we tend to do. Now, that's one purpose that it serves, is that, you know, it helps us from a standpoint of pride, and also, if you want me to be perfectly honest about it, a lot of times also from the standpoint of ego, we get an opportunity to do that. You know, it's like almost like having bragging rights. But the other thing that it does is that it helps us to establish territories. It lets other males know, hey, this is my girlfriend, or this is my future wife, fiance, whatever, and stay away. I don't like to really put that out there like that, but it's the truth. That's really how we as men do things. That's how we go about it. That's how we go about it. And some women get very upset about that when they find out the reasons why we do it, because they feel like, oh, I'm just a piece of property and all this. It's not that. We're really serious about you. We really care about you. Women, I've noticed, on the other hand, are like a cat that picks up a piece of food and runs off somewhere to eat it, away from prying eyes and away from anybody that might take the food away from them. When a woman is really serious about a guy, you hardly see anything on social media about this dude at all, save for possibly anniversaries, maybe special events. And a lot of times when she does post something, if it's not an anniversary, like, you know, wedding anniversary or an anniversary of how long you've been dating or whatever, or a birthday, and then it's usually she'll post something that involves not just the guy, but her and the guy together at some kind of event. That's usually the way she'll do it, if she puts anything on there at all. Women are not really quick to splash things all over social media because they know, and this is something else some women get upset with me about when I say it, but I'm not the only relationship and life coach who said this, and I'm not the only social scientist who recognized this phenomenon, but women, honestly, especially women who are single, who've had a difficult time attracting men to their lives, can be especially predatory. And a lot of women know this, which is why you don't often see women putting all kinds of stuff all over Facebook about some great guy that she's dating. If she does that, I've tended to notice in my empirical studies that women who do that, a lot of times they do that because they're not especially secure about the relationship. For example, I've known women in the past who have splashed all this stuff all over Facebook, and he's a great husband, he's this, he's that, he's da-da-da-da-da-da. And the predatory women seeing that might start to feel that, hey, she has already vetted this guy. She's already put her stamp of approval on this guy. He's been grade A tested. He's good to go. And she might try to move in somehow. Usually it's a woman that the girl who's posting this stuff knows very well. Usually somebody in her social circle. So, so when you see that a lot of times, sometimes it could indicate that she's not especially secure within that relationship, and that she's trying to basically project what she would like the relationship to be into the universe, and would come back and become so. Of course, we know that's fantasy. That never works out. If you're not secure as a woman or a man in a relationship, I don't care how much stuff you put out there in the universe, it's never going to work out. That relationship is going to falter, and it's going to fall flat, because in almost every single instance where I've seen women, and in some cases men, doing that, that's exactly what's happened. When they play something up so much that it becomes obvious what's going on, is they're trying to believe in what they're doing, or they want the relationship to really be something, but they're not, especially with women, they're not feeling it. And they want to feel it, but they're not. It's interesting, some of the other ways that especially women go about establishing their territory, especially if they feel their territory is threatened. I remember one time I was dating this young lady, and we went out to lunch one day, and I was telling her about a friend of mine that I worked with. And, of course, she said, oh, well, not of course, but she said to me, hey, what does this girl look like? And to me, the girl's just a friend. I mean, almost like one of the guys. And I said, oh, well, this is what she looks like. But the girl also happened to be, the girl I worked with happened to be very attractive. And she said, oh, and at the time, I swear this went right over my head, the girl I was dating said, well, you know what? We ought to send her a picture of us out to lunch, having a good time. I said, I didn't even think anything else. I was so much into the girl I was with, I wasn't even thinking about it. And I was looking at this from my man standpoint of establishing territory. Once again, oh, well, this is an opportunity for me to let the world know that I'm with this special lady. So we sent the picture. And then when we went out to her car, we were sitting there right before we parted ways. And she says, you know what? Your hands look dry. And let me put some lotion on it. She pulled this peach scented lotion out of her purse. And she rubbed this stuff on both my hands all the way up to my elbows. And the last thing she said before I got out of the car after she did that was, there, now you smell like me. At the time, I didn't realize what she was doing. But I realized a little while later that what she was doing was, in her own way as a woman, establishing her territory. And I thought back to the days when I was a bouncer in nightclubs, how guys would come to the nightclub smelling like Chanel No. 5, which is a woman's scent. It's a woman's perfume. I'm like, why are these guys smelling so sweet and fruity? And it wasn't because the guys did that. It's because the girls, somehow or another, before they left, put this stuff on them, or put it on themselves, as I heard other women say, then hug the guy really hard, and then her scent is all over him before he goes out to the club. All kinds of ways that men and women do these things. Guys, when they're out with a woman that they really like, I've seen, there's a young lady that worked in a bead shop up the street from where I was working. I was in there one day, and her boyfriend happened to be there, and I was talking to her, because I talked to her all the time when I went in there. And he walks up behind her, puts his arms around her from behind, and kisses her on the side of the head. And what do you think that meant? This was a clear signal of, hey, this is my girlfriend Zoe. This is you're now approaching my territory, and this is my way of letting you know, as a random guy, as far as I'm concerned. She may know you, I don't know you, but as a random guy, this is my way of letting you know to step off. That's all that was. And this is some of the things that guys and women do. Now, sometimes these sorts of behaviors, these sorts of reactions to establishing, or not establishing a relationship, but these kinds of reactions to people who might approach or think about encroaching on your so-called territory are actually, in many ways, signs of weakness sometimes when they carry it too far. It's okay if it happens here and there a little bit, but in some instances, even one or two examples of it from the same person could be too much. Because what it tends to indicate is that the person is very insecure. A real secure guy, for example, even though it's wonderful to, hey, put your girl out there and showcase her to the whole world, that's something that the women do like for us to do in some cases, until they start to think that, hey, we're just doing it because we're showcasing property like a real estate agent or something. But but it's something that they tend to like for us to do. But, sometimes if you're doing it all the time, constantly, as a guy, that's too much. If you're doing it all the time, constantly, as a woman, that's too much. There's something inherently wrong with that. It's something. What it indicates is that there's something out of balance in the person's sense of security with the other person. So you might want to watch that if you're prone to doing that. Anyway, I just wanted to share those things with you. My name is Dave Thomas III. This is Faked Out by Love. Be sure to like and to share this video with your friends and your neighbors and everybody else. Spread the knowledge and the love. Also, be sure to leave a comment down there in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to my channel just yet, which I really hope that you do soon because, hey, I love to have your support, be sure to hit the subscribe button down there and the notification bell. That way, every single time that I upload a fresh video, you're going to be the first to know. Well, I hope you guys are having a great evening. I'm burning the midnight oil tonight. Still got a whole lot more work to do. And my service to y'all and helping you guide your way around all the pitfalls and the nightmares of this relationship and dating scene out here in the current world. And with that, I'm going to say I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing from you again.